Hello and welcome to day 69 of 73. And today I wanted to talk about perspective. I recently found out that my son at his school has been telling some of his friends that I'm an astronaut. And this is funny because he's developed most recently a fascination about space travel, rockets, planets, satellites, and the works. And it is a shift from the regular dinosaurs and construction vehicles that other kids of his age are usually fixated upon. But I laugh because one of one of his friends' moms uh, ran into me while I was dropping him off at school this morning and was quick to point out that the spaceman was in the classroom, to which I continued to chuckle about because, yeah, it is amusing. But apart from that, I think the reason why I brought it up was because on our drive to school, my son was talking about how the relationship between humans and aliens is. And we can go down a rabbit hole about whatever conspiracy theory one might think in terms of extraterrestrial life, what is being kept from us, etc. Please don't cancel this channel. I don't have that much notoriety to go after if there is anything I'm touching here as a sensitive subject. But it was funny because he was curious as to how the aliens know that we're essentially the other. And I had to have a very quick conversation about, perspective. And in that, the same way that we see our neighbors as neighbors, they see us as neighbors and their home as their respective home. And why this was something that I thought about throughout the rest of the day was that I think a lot of the time, especially in my case, getting really caught up in my own mind and wondering whether the efforts that I expend are worth it or if they are resonating in the way that they are supposed to is very, I'd say, exclusionary of what someone else's idea of reality might be in seeing the improvements being made. And thinking about my son in particular, my particular journey of wanting to stick with the self improvement and wanting to make sure that I'm doing all of this work so that he has a particular understanding of who I am, that is much bigger to me than whatever individual thoughts or I'd say challenges or struggles that I might have on an individual daily basis. And I think that oftentimes, especially when there is a clear shift that one is trying to make, it is easy to get bogged down in the personal details or whatever your understanding of what reality might be may look like. And I think that once you are able to take at least a beat or a step further out and be able to understand that my being able to show up for him as his dad in a capacity that he will never quite understand, maybe until later on, the fact that I've never existed in this realm of his existence as someone who doesn't, oh, yeah, someone who doesn't drink is truly profound. And I'm proud that my wanting to go ahead and engage with myself in a way that is rather difficult in comparison is something that is going to help him have a very good understanding of what a dad should be and someone who is always there to be able to listen and be attentive and give him the space to be as silly and as incessant as possible when it comes to these questions, because there are a lot of them that regard space. And in my modest capacity, I try to answer as many of them as possible, but I do now understand that my particular journey gives me an added amount of strength or a renewed perspective of what it means to be able to show up. So, yeah. Thank you for your time.